Hello, YouTube. So anyways, my physical component came. I'm not gonna unbox this today. I'm gonna do it when my Ad Violence final, when Ad Violence comes and I order it and it arrives, then I'm gonna unbox that. But I'm gonna unbox the Fragile on Sunday because I believe it's gonna come on Monday because it said it's in Atlanta right now. But anyways, today I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about my 10 favorite albums of all time. So before we get into that, I'm gonna show you some honorable mentions. Honorable mention number one, Filth by Swans. Honorable mention number two, The Shape of Punk to Come by Refuse. Oh, God. Honorable mention number four. Right. Obscura by Gorguts. Honorable mention number five. Oh crap! Street Cleaner by Godflesh. An honorable mention. I don't know. I forgot lost count. I don't know. I'm just too busy trying to keep these. All right. Honorable mention number six, I believe. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. All right. Now, anyways, let's get into this, and I'll talk about the ones in my top 10. But anyways, so number 10, Vespertine by Björk. Now, obviously, you can already see what number 9 and number 8 are. But anyway, so this is a beautiful album. I won't open them up. I'll just gatefold them, I guess. But anyway, so beautiful album. Probably my favorite Björk album. One of my favorite electronic and pop albums. It's beautiful. I guess you can kind of say this album's kind of sexy in a way just because of the song Cocoon. I don't know who can't pop a boner after that, if you're straight or lesbian, I don't know. But anyway, so legendary Iceland musician. Definitely my favorite musician from Scandinavia. This album's beautiful. It's cold. It's atmospheric. It's beautiful. I just love this album. All right, number 9, Velocity, Design, Comfort by Sweet Trip. All right, this album's awesome. It has glitch influence. It's like shoegaze. It's probably my favorite shoegaze album. It's IDM. It's glitch. It's shoegaze. Electronic. It's amazing. This album is. It's like almost like a. It's very futuristic, ahead of its time. I love it. Anyways, number 8, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. You know what number 7 is now. Every single song on this album is a banger. I love every song to death on this album. I didn't click at first, but now I kind of realize every song is good. My least favorite track on here is Enter the Wu-Tang 7 Chamber. Wu-Tang 7 Chamber, which that song's still a banger, and I love that song. I can jam that song, even though it's my least favorite on the album. Amazing album. Alright, anyways. Number 7. Mystic Stylez by 3-6 Mafia. And this one is actually signed by Juicy J and DJ Paul. I didn't expect to like a 3-6 Mafia album as much as I do. But here I am, and this is my favorite horrorcore album of all time. My favorite 90s hip-hop album. I love this album. It's so dark. It's evil. It has, I guess every track is kind of a banger too. I don't really like, Porno Movie doesn't do that much for me, but it's an alright track. But this album is, like, the song, Fucking With This Click is, like, one of my favorite hip-hop songs ever. This album's incredible. Number 6, The Velvet Underground and Nico by The Velvet Underground and Nico. Anyways, so this is my favorite 60s album. Probably one of the most important albums to ever be released. It's influential on the grunge genre, all these different kinds of genres. Shoegaze, probably. Lou Reed, rest in peace, Lou Reed, and rest in peace, Nico. It's kind of a noise rock album, experimental rock, and this album it took me a while to click, but this album is so good. Heroin, Sunday Morning, Femme Fatale, There She Goes Again, Run, Run, Run. Venus in Verse is really praised, but that's honestly not one of my favorites on the album, but it's still good. Anyways, number 5. Wait, yeah, number 5. Okay, number 5, The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. My favorite industrial rock album. If you can consider industrial metal, then it's my favorite metal album of all time. And This is basically a very sad and depressing album. It's basically about the downfall of someone's life and their eventual rise and fall into suicide and killing themselves. My favorite concept album as well. All right, number 4, Selected Ambient Works, 85 through 92 by Aphex Twin. My favorite electronic album. I kind of been back and forth on Richard D. James' album on this one, but I think I've come to a conclusion I like this one a lot more. It's so beautiful, atmospheric, and I honestly think it's better than the majority, well, pretty much any electronic has ever been. I think it's ahead of its time. I think it sounds way better than any EDM, like Calvin Harris bullshit, on the radio. But I love this album to death. It's great ambient techno album. Number 3, The Money Store by Death Grips. Now, this is my favorite album for a long time, and it's probably a surprise to you this is number 1, but this is still my favorite album of the 2010s. And when it comes down to it's this album, and the one you'll see after, which you probably already know what it is if you see my videos. This is like my favorite industrial album, if you consider it an industrial album. My favorite hip-hop album of all time. And this album is so good. I love every song on this album. It took me a while to like Fuck That, but I kind of like Fuck That now. And this is still one of my favorite bands, maybe arguably my favorite band as well. And I love every song on this. When I first heard it, I thought it was like nothing I've ever heard before. I jammed it like for days and days and days on end because I liked it so much. And I still really love it today. I can probably listen to this album over and over again and never get tired of it, which is the same for these last 3. All right. Number 2, Spirit They're Gone, Spirit They Vanish by Animal Collective. This actually has my favorite song of all time on it, Alvin Rowe, which is probably by far my favorite song. But unfortunately, it's only my second favorite album. This album took me a while to like. I used to like Strawberry Jam a lot more, but I think this album is a whole lot better now. If you get past just the noisy bits, the harsh noise sounds, it really is a beautiful album. It's about growing up and leaving your childhood behind, and I really relate to this album. This album really speaks to me on a very high level. I love this album. I can listen to it over and over again and never get tired of it. Number 1, Kid A by Radiohead. If there's an album I would say every single track on here is a 10 out of 10, it would probably have to be this one. I love this album to death. I think it's a classic in my opinion. Definitely the most important album of the 2000s and 2010s. This came out in the 2000s. But this definitely had a bigger impact than this one. Even though some people might view this one as better. Which they're not by the same group. They're not even from the same country. But this album's incredible. I love it so much. I can listen to this album over and over again and never get tired of it. It's like electronic rock, experimental rock, art rock, and this kind of came as a surprise to some musicians. It was influenced by people like Aphex Twin, Autechre, and even jazz musicians such as Charles Mingus. There's so many genres put into this thing. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. I don't think it surprised listeners and the critics at the first listen, but overall, I think this is probably my favorite album ever. So yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.